I love painting. It makes me feel calm and peaceful. I can be in an upset and frazzled mood, and when I go into my studio and start moving paint around, the world goes away for a while. Today, I'm going to share 5 tips that I use to bring that feeling of calm and wonder to my art practice. Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm a self-taught, part-time artist. I'm documenting my journey to becoming an artist here on YouTube. I believe that we are all creative, and it takes experimentation, playing, and paying attention to what makes you happy to bring out that creativity. It might be hidden deep inside you, but it's there. We just need to listen to that childlike voice. Have you ever stood by the water and just watched the water flow? The waves going back and forth against the rocks, the rhythmic flow, the huge expanse of water that seems to go on forever. Or a little stream of water that forms in the spring when the snow melts, trailing down the driveway towards the grate in the road. Or even the running of the water filling the sink or bathtub. To me, these things are beautiful. We might not always pay attention to them, just take them for granted, or just hurry to get the dishes washed. Tip number 1 is to pay attention to the little things in life that lift you up. In this busy, hectic life, we all need some happiness, joy, and wonder. When I started trying to notice the small things in the rest of my life, I was able to bring that into my art as well. It takes practice though. Next time you're running some water, for whatever reason, stop for a second and pay attention. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? I think it's important to be mindful and pay attention to the little things that bring you joy or a small amount of pleasure. For you, it might not be water. It might be the sound of the leaves rustling in the trees, a deep breath of fresh air, the feel of rubbing lotion on your hands, or the taste of your favorite meal. I want and need more of that feeling of being uplifted these days. And I can find that feeling in my art practice when I pay attention. I try to do something creative most days. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it, but usually if I go into my art room and tidy up a bit, or look at the tubes of paint and bottles of ink, look at some old artwork, something catches my attention. Most of the time, it's a color that I see that catches my eye. It's often pinks or different shades of blue. Pink is my happy color. It lifts me up inside. Blue reminds me of the calm, peaceful feeling I get when I look at the lake or river. The other day, I felt like using blues. I took out a canvas that had some paint and collage on it and played. I poured a bit of water onto it and then took out some high-flow turquoise paint and poured it onto the puddle. Tip number 3 is play and experiment and try not to put pressure on yourself. This is your time. There's no pressure to create a masterpiece. I went into this session with a spirit of play and experimentation. I watched the paint kind of pool on the surface, then took an old gift card and moved the paint and water around, enjoying the feel of it and paying attention to what I was seeing. I noticed that I could see the layers underneath in a different way and was interested in how the liquid beaded up in some places because of the layers underneath. I took a little spray bottle and sprayed some water on an area to move the paint around and create some interesting shapes. Tip number 4 is to use what you have. Some water, an expired credit card, an old kitchen tool, a dollar store paintbrush, even your fingers. Making art doesn't have to be expensive. I added in a different color of paint and grabbed an old kitchen spatula to swirl it around, mixing the paints together and watching a new color being created. Added some more water and pushed the liquid around some more to cover some other areas of the canvas. For some variety and to see what happens, I added some off-white in some places. The bottle is almost empty, so it made some neat splatters. It's neat to see how the light color seeps into the dark. I poured some more water on to get the colors moving and shifting and watched the flowiness. Tip number 5 is to notice what you like. If you like how the colors flow together, do that again. If you like swishing the paintbrush around, try it somewhere else. If you enjoy seeing water move across the canvas, do it again. I brought out a big juicy paintbrush and swooshed some paint around, moving it farther out towards the edges of the canvas. Some more playing around, adding paint and watching patterns form, then I left it to work its magic on its own while it dried. Part of the fun of this method is that the way the paint dries is always a surprise. My art practice is about paying attention to the little things in life, playing and experimenting, using tools I already have around the house, noticing what I enjoy and doing more of that. I try not to put pressure on myself to make things look like a work of art or compare myself to other people. It's not always easy, and sometimes I have to pause and remind myself of my intention. But the more I practice these things, the more I enjoy my art practice. And for me, that's what it's all about.